welcome back to another video where today it's here in the Growth of Giggles RP, and yes, this is going to be one exceptionally long video because we got to get a whole bunch of pieces of paper to get to the final badge, and I'm going to show you how to get each piece. So, you know what, first things first, should we just get the first piece of paper? I think we should. So, I think we can get 2 from here. Let's start with actually clicking the right button and heading to the nest. There's 2 to get here, so it shouldn't be a problem. The first thing you're going to want to do is equip the shears. You're going to need this, and this isn't too bad to get. This one is actually, fortunately, a bit easier than I was actually expecting it to be. But what we'll do is we'll just head down the straight line all the way past these guys, right to the end until you get to here. This should look familiar, and basically you want to turn left and just keep walking down this pathway, avoiding these crazy looking creatures on the floor. And effectively, it looks like Nexus might beat us there. But yeah, normally you could head down here. No. Keep going straight. As you can see, this person ahead is doing also. And eventually, you will see there is some vines to cut right here. Do this. And then you need to do this one as well. Which, yeah, it'd be really helpful if it actually allowed me to. There we go. There we go. So as you can see, it's on the wall. That is the first piece of paper. And if you didn't know... Ah, the 1th piece. Almost. What? The 1th piece? You know, it's close enough. But we got 1 of 10 pieces of paper. And yes, like I said, they're going to get more difficult. But just in case, this is where you actually get the barrel of starlight. Originally, it's behind this wall. So that is how you get this one. So while we head down and get the second badge, what I'm going to do to make this video a little bit easier for you guys to follow is basically just do the voiceover of footage I've recorded. So as you can see, we're cutting through some vines because... well, we need to find this particular room that we're heading to up ahead, and I always forget where it is. It seems to just hide from me the whole time, and it bugs me. But if you know where this room is off the top of your head, then great, you'll know where it is, because as soon as you enter, it's going to be on your left, and you see the glow in the background. We're going to need to get that later, because that is a battery. So this will give you the second piece of paper, although it says it's the 6th. I'm not doing it in number order. I'm doing it in order in a way that where they are in areas. So it saves you going back to the same area when we could have got it earlier. You know what I mean by that? So now we've got that. Let's head on to the next piece of paper. And for this, we want to head to the Seek Chase area because we need to make it to basically where... well, Seek is and so is Sally. There's 2 badges there that we need to get. And to be honest, I think this is probably going to be 2 of the easier ones to get. So what we'll do is obviously head onto the raft. And once you get on the raft, it will take you down there. It's animated, but I skipped this just because you know how it works. You don't need to say the same thing over again. But I tried to jump over the edge. Clearly, it didn't allow me because it's rude. And this is something we're going to need to go to very shortly once we've spoken to Sally. But before that, a really easy piece of paper to find is literally at this window ahead of us. So just head over to the corner and you'll see it appear. Hold your button down to obviously pick up the piece of paper. Why didn't I skip this bit? Doesn't matter. We got it now. So a new piece of paper, which is the second, which is actually technically the 3rd piece. Now, if you look at the top right-hand corner, it's going to show 2. It's because I left the game when I got the first piece and then come back to this one. So later on in the video, you'll see it will sync up again with actually how many we have. So now we are back over into the game and obviously at Sally. Just keep talking to her, and I mean this. You have to just keep chatting to her. It takes a little while, but it does eventually appear, and she tells you what the actual code is. And as you'll see right now, for me, it's 497. I don't know if it's going to be the same for you with this whole, like, puzzles and everything that they've, Unsurprised Though, and his team's done. They do a really good job of making things random, especially like locations and stuff, which is why going further on in the video, you'll see that I just kind of show where I found it, not necessarily show you how to get to it. So 497, press that button, should open up this room, and to your left, you'll see the bit of paper that we need. Perfect! So this should mean we've now managed to get quite a few pieces of paper in this room, which is 2. So we're on 4 at the moment, so let's head on to the main spawn because we need to pick up a few things, especially the shears That's going to be used quite a lot in this video, and so's the mud, or the meat. It's not mud at all. But what we're going to do is dive down here as if you were going to get, I believe it's guiding lights. Cut through this vine that's under water and just swim up. Don't worry at this point in time about having to find any keys or anything like that. Just for now, follow as I do. Head into what is effectively one of the earlier mazes. And once you go through here, you'll want to basically head in and find a particular room. So instead of skipping it, I just kind of sped this up. I just want to make sure that you guys can maybe follow this. I do go to the wrong room twice, but it's fine. It doesn't take too long. The room we will need is literally after you cut 2 separate vines when you're walking through like these corridors. So here's the first one, and then the next one's just here. And that's the door. As soon as you go in here, it's on your left. As you see right there, that should give you now the next piece of the paper. So now it's flagging us 2 at the top, but I think we're actually on 5. But don't worry, this will catch up shortly. I will actually go and get the rest of them. So as you can see, very quickly, we've now got 5. We are now caught up, and I haven't left the server. So heads up, guys. If you leave the server or any session, you lose that total count, and I think that means you have to redo the papers that you found. So try not to leave the server if you're going to follow along. So this is going to be great fun. Basically, head down to the dam where you would find Seek, and I'm just going to brighten up the screen a bit to make things a bit easier for you to see. But what we need to do is to find the 5 switches, which I think is the same as if you were trying to get, is it Mischievous Light? I can't remember which one it is down here. It might be Curious Light. But either way, it's one of the lights. And you have to get all 5 of these switches. Which, as you can hear when I hit them, make a lovely clanking sound. But yeah, just check every room for all 5 switches. And then eventually, you will need to go into the centerpiece, which is just at this bit before you go through the door. So this bit here. Climb the ladder. And for me, I had the last 2 switches here. Now, the reason that we have to get all 5 switches is that grumbling. So, not only have we got a piece of paper directly in front of us, which I'm sure most of you have found, but once you get this, there's another one very close by, which you probably weren't aware of, but honestly, I'll show you. So, the reason we have to get those 5 switches is now we can walk through these rocks. This one in particular gave me a bit of a challenge right now. Eventually, I managed to just line myself up and run through it. And there is the missing, or the next piece of paper we needed, which puts us up to, I believe, 7 at this point. So now we've got that. This is where some fun begins. Let's head to Jeff's shop. This one is actually quite easy. This bit of paper to rank us up to 9, put us up to 8. But what I will say is once we've got these, the last 2 pieces of paper are a little bit time consuming, and they are the most difficult ones to do. So I will try my best to go through and obviously help you with trying to find those pieces. So let's grab this one, which puts us up to a total of 8. And this is where the fun begins. Yes, sir. I think actually as a bonus for doing this, you actually get all the badges. So as you just saw, I zoomed in basically to pick up a battery holder. This is key. And then head over to the nest, and what you're looking for is a red glow, which is like this with a battery on top. So you're going to find these in random locations. Annoyingly, I can't just basically say they're going to be here for sure. So they might not be in the same locations that I'm about to find them, but they are placed around here in probably similar locations. So we got 2 of 4 to find. Obviously, heading over the bridges if we were going back to Jeff's shop. I found a 3rd one on the table. So 3 were quite near the beginning, which is a bit of a blessing. This random cat picture, which I don't recall seeing, you can interact with it. And it is a Skibidi Gauntlet Jinxed cat. Yes, yes it is. But after running about in there still, I managed to find the 4th battery, which now means we've got all of the batteries we need to now head to the Under Nest version 2. And then we want to head up the top to where you'll find a radio with a battery pack connected to it. And obviously the batteries we got, you need to kind of put into it. And now we got to listen to Morse code. So it's dots and dashes, and to be honest, I managed to translate my one to be 226, but my massive head is in the way that I couldn't quite press the 6 button, but we've done it. And this means we can head through and collect paper number 9. So the batteries took me a little while to find. I think it was like 20 minutes. Hopefully you guys can find them faster than I did. But now for the final piece of paper, which involves a few steps. So we're back in the main spawn, which is the nest. And if you just go up the stairs in the drawer, that's one of the locations that you can find a key. And this key is normally used for unlocking Curious Light, I believe, at the maze we were at earlier. Basically, we're going to come to the outside and use it on this door, which I don't think it's actually necessary. I love the sound effects, but it gives you an achievement, so I thought it was worth kind of showcasing. And obviously at this point in time, what we need to do is collect 10 pieces of meat, which as you can see is in the spawn as well as in the maze area, which we were in earlier, which is this is the one where we found one of the pieces of paper. So I would definitely say at this point, try to collect 10 bits of meat. So when you come back to the outsider and kind of check this over control, you place it on top, and then, yeah, this leads us to almost to the end of getting all 10 pieces of paper. But no, this bit now gets us basically to the red key, which if you weren't aware of, we need it because the final location with this key is pretty awesome. It is actually pretty awesome, and I'm hoping that you enjoy it as well. Thanks for the meal. Brah! That thing's gross! But honestly, it's fine. It's, he's happy. It gives us another achievement, more importantly. And now what you want to do is head up the stairs and go into the direction that I am. So for some reason, I'm sure it's added in this most recent update, but you can fall through the floor. And if you don't do that meat thing and you come over to here, you get stuck in a room that you can't jump out of. So you have to teleport away. But when you're in this room, have a look in the drawers because there's a little note that basically says, looking for something? Well, yes. Yes, I am. And what you'll do is climb up this rock and go through the wall. Basically, you can run through it. And this is where the red key is located. So now we've got that. I'm just going to quickly put the candle on so you can see this tiny little room I'm in. And then go back through the wall so you can see where I fell down from. And what we need to do is effectively go to the control room. Because what we do from here is head to, obviously, I'll just call it red. But it's Mischievous Light's room. And then round the back of it, which I was just trying to figure out what was odd about this room since we last played it. But it looks like over here there's a dodgy bit of wall that you can run through. And yes, that has taken us through to the door. And I'm going to shush for this cutscene because it's pretty awesome.
I should have asked for permission first, but I know what you're really trying to do. Trying to collect all the pieces, huh? Those papers, they're about the future. You're not supposed to know about any of it. Even if we've all been through that mess already, you probably haven't. I once lost my mind over one of those papers. That was the moment I became fully self-aware. And saw what was coming. Here, let me get the paper for you. You've been collecting them, haven't you? Trying to piece it all together. Just remember, it's all about the future. And the future hurts. Think of this as a spoiler warning. That's all I'm giving you. Next time, try asking before entering my room. There's a reason I keep that door shut. Goodbye.
I told you it was awesome. Such a great kind of cutscene. But yep, that is it. As you can see, the achievements now appear for the Paper Hunter. And you got a new piece. Now, I'm sure you can view this whole image. And if you can, I'll put it on the screen now so you guys can see it. But otherwise, that is how you get pretty much all of the new achievements in the Growth of Giggles update. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Remember to hit the like button, subscribe, and stay awesome. Bye!